What's up? It's MPTV on the road again. I'm Matt Plapp, and we are at a real estate conference in Las Vegas.
Woohoo!
And I've got a young lady that I met recently. And somehow, I don't know how the hell we didn't know each other the last 20 years.
20 years, right?
Because we both were in the media world in Cincinnati.
Crazy, yes.
So Sharon, tell the internet land audience who you are.
Sharon McCormick. I am a real estate agent in Cincinnati, but what's so cool is where our backgrounds were conjoined is because we were both in radio for a long period of time in the Cincinnati market. So it was a lot of fun.
Which is wild because even when I was out of radio,
Yeah.
I was buying it for our boat dealerships or for clients of my agency.
You would have thought that our
I-
past
I-
would have,
I think
and we
they-
know everybody together.
we had last night at dinner. We're talking like everybody we knew, and I'm thinking maybe you just didn't like people that wore orange, and you avoid. Don't give me that guy.
I love orange now, but maybe at that time that wasn't it. That was no, but it was so fun. And then we were talking back even further. We both went to the same high school, which is again another crazy
Boyd
part.
Memorial, baby.
Boyd Memorial Juggernauts. That's right.
So what I wanted to talk about, because I came out to this conference not because I have anything to do with real estate. I own some real estate,
Right.
but I came out with Aaron, a friend we share in common, and I wanted to pick the brains and see what was happening in real estate. And then I meet you, and we talk more, and I realized like the badass you are, and we're in media, and we had some fun conversations last night sitting over some guac and chips
Absolutely.
about how like people are still buying big media, radio and TV and newspapers, and those companies haven't even adapted.
And it's almost like that analogy of the barge that turns so slowly that it finally sinks versus a speedboat that's adaptable and adjusts. And it's not as if the social media strategies are new,
Yeah.
right? They've just been evolving and they continue to evolve. But a lot of those companies just refuse to, evolve at all. Even when they have a perfect niche to be able to develop on the social media strategy side. So
I mean,
it
you look-
amazes me.
You look at I equate it to how the yellow pages ignored the internet.
Yes.
I mean, most of the yellow pages that we used to have on our front door should have been Google or Yahoo, and they weren't. And they had the power to shift it and be like, hey, you need to be on the internet, you need to be here. And they could have just literally taken those 20, I think Mike Frederick told me one time there was 18,000 businesses in the yellow page. They could have shifted them to the internet, but no, they were stubborn, and then they eventually became kindling for fire.
Exactly.
And now we got radio and TV radio stations and some of the media outlets are starting to do it more.
Yeah.
I love how iHeart always pushes their podcast stuff, but it's like, why aren't you pushing digital channels that drive people there to consume content outside of a podcast?
Well, and these guys are celebrities, right? That was the whole thing. You'd have this talent on air and they're celebrities, and yet you're limiting their exposure versus getting them out there all the time and getting better presence, which would drive your radio numbers up.
So your barge analogy I saw in person,
Yeah.
literally. My wife and my two kids were on a cruise ship leaving Miami, Florida. This was 6 years ago.
Wow.
And we had this loud alert. They come on and say, passengers, this isn't an emergency, but according to maritime law, we have to stop for a distressed vessel. And this is a giant Royal Caribbean ship. And then that's all they said. We'll be back. We'll let you know back when we're going to get going again. So of course we see people going to the edge. We walk over and look, and you can see a boat of Cuban refugees,
Oh my gosh.
which was surreal to see in person, what they must have gone through where they were from to make that journey here. And so here's this cruise ship. And I'm not joking, it took the cruise ship 30 minutes to go from slowing down to actually stopping. I guess they had to finish the process. By that time, the boat was already gone. The cops had come and gotten them.
Oh my gosh.
But I guess
to your point, yeah.
They had, literally this boat was this eking to a stop. And then eventually, by the time they stopped, Coast Guard, little boats, had come, picked them up and whisked them, I guess, to jail or wherever, however they do that. But to me, I remember, I always hear that example. I tell clients, you can be a cruise ship or you can be a small fishing boat.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about when I'm here at this EXP conference and guys like Aaron and you and everybody else that's here, you can listen to a session, take notes, and go home tomorrow and do it, whereas these major corporations they're that cruise ship.
And they force the compliance to go a certain way. And everybody's different, right?
Yep.
So Aaron's strengths and my strengths are completely different. And we can market and have incredible success, in the same city, just doing it a little bit differently, but being authentically us. And I think that's the biggest thing.
So what are some things you took with you from your media career into real estate?
I think it's all about communication, you know, and for me, the transition was relatively easy because I love talking to people. I love sharing thoughts and positive energy. And so when you have the ability to do that as a salesperson or as a manager, influencing and coaching others, you can just take that wherever. And real estate has always interested me, and my partner Monica has been doing it for 20 plus years.
She's a rock star.
She is a rock star. She is a rock star. So I was learning from the best, and it was just a smooth transition.
The first time I met her, Aaron did a podcast with her at our office in Florence, and I'm watching this. I'm like, who is this lady? Like, this lady is dynamic. And I'm like, how did you get her? Like, I thought she maybe was flown in
for this podcast.
From New York to this podcast. Like, no, she's from this region. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, she's a rock star. And she just loves that energy. She just loves to be able to share. So it's been perfect.
What's one of your aha moments you've gotten so far from the last day and a half of this conference?
You know what's so interesting is everybody still talks about the importance of doing video and how hard that is for so many people just to make that leap of faith, and that you don't have to be perfect. And so I am a somewhat of an analytic type of personality. So for me, you know, things have to be a little bit more, you know, conformed. I have to know a little bit about what I'm going to say before I start. Where dynamic people like Aaron and Monica can just do it on the fly. But I need to do more video. I need to get out and do more video. And selfishly, I mean, I need to share information. So many of my friends and family don't know what's going on in the market. And I have this information that I need to share with people.
The top two places that businesses aren't being found right now, which are the number one and number two searchable platforms, require video. YouTube, TikTok.
Exactly.
And TikTok is a searchable platform more than Facebook and Instagram. And a lot of people are going on there and looking for, like, they've got something coming out soon that's like restaurants near me on TikTok, and it pulls up maps and it's got the content for these restaurants.
I saw that. That's going to be, I mean, that's going to be crazy.
And
right?
I can, it's funny because people, I'll tell them, like, I was terrible and I was scared shitless of videos 7 years ago. And they're like, I see you do hundreds of videos a week, but I can relate to it because I'll never forget my first videos. I was so scared what people were going to think of me. Are my clients going to think, what is this guy talking about? Because nobody I knew was doing it.
Right.
And so it was really uncomfortable when my coach, Billie Jean Shaw of California, was like, get on video. I'm like, what am I talking about? The stuff you speak at seminars about. Like, I had done like 300 seminars at that point at different places around Cincinnati on social media marketing from 08 to 16.
And you had all that information.
I had never recorded one.
Wow.
And so what got me over the hump and what got me speaking, at least I believe, in a very put together manner, was that I started doing a lot of live video. Because I had a studio at my house, I have 2 at the office.
Right.
And when you do a recorded video, you sit there and you critique it, you watch it. Oh, I touched my nose. Oh, I said 4 times. I don't like the way my shirt looked. I'm gonna change the color of it. When you do a live video,
no choice, no option.
My first ever live video, guess how many viewers were on it?
How many?
Goose egg, 0.
Nice.
And that was one thing he told me. He goes, you know what's going to be really cool about your first live videos? I go, what? He goes, nobody's watching. So who gives a shit? You can look as dumb and sound as dumb. And when you do that over and over, you get to a point where now you're good at talking on camera.
Absolutely. And that's kind of that big thing. I don't know why we have so much fear about it, because when we have great conversation and we have the ability to communicate, it's like it just becomes easy. I like doing it more with someone versus by myself, but I need to do more of all of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I appreciate you being on.
It's such a pleasure, and I am so glad we got to connect here. We have so many people, so many friends in common.
Sure, the start of a long relationship.
No doubt.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's all we got from EXP Con in Las Vegas. I'm Matt Platt. I'll see you next episode.